Hi friends, welcome back to your channel. Sales is always fun. In this episode, we'll be looking at negotiation. Now, negotiation is yes, part of the sales process and the buying process. Let's start this way. Last week, I was at the supermarket, had a very interesting experience. I saw a small boy, he was about 3 to 4 years of age, a little stout, chubby guy. He came walking up to me and said, I want to pick up chocolates because it was kept at a height and he was only so much. So I lifted him and he picked 2 chocolates and walked back to his mother. And he told, Mommy, I want 2 chocolates. Mother said, no chocolate, it's bad for you. He persisted, no mother, I want 2 chocolates. She again said no, this yes, no, kept going, and finally she said, okay, take 1 chocolate. This guy again said, no, I want 2. So mommy put her foot down, said, either you take 1 or keep it back. Don't bring anything inside. So this guy quietly went, put 1 into the basket and walked up to me. I thought maybe he'll be a little sad because against 2 he got 1, but he came back with a smile. And he said, can you keep it back there? I said, fine. So what does this episode say? Even a kid at his age, he was very clear. He wanted a chocolate, but he knew if he goes with 2, his mother will allow him to buy 1. There's a profound saying. It says that in life, you get what you negotiate for. I repeat, in life, you get what you negotiate for. Now look at your position in the organization. Your salary is all what you negotiated for or did not negotiate for. There's also another saying, the crying child gets the milk. So which means we have all started negotiating from a very, very early age in life. And we do this negotiation day in, day out. With our friends, with our family members, with our colleagues. It keeps happening every now and then. But what happens when an organization calls you for a negotiation? I see most of the salespeople get a little jittery. And there is no way you can escape it. Like I said earlier, it's a part of the sales process. After prospecting, approach comes the negotiation stage. If you look at the buyer, for him, it's a mandatory process. So there is no escape. So there is no point in getting jittery, but probably take it up and play the game in the front foot itself. So if we look at this negotiation from 3 different perspectives, first is the most important thing, which is the pre-negotiation. Second is at the negotiation table, and third, post-negotiation. And what we will do for a change is we will look at it from the angle of Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and how those habits impact the negotiation, or it helps us to negotiate better. The first thing Stephen Covey says in his book is look ahead or be proactive. So what happens when it comes to, so how do we get this proactive into our negotiation? Here, before you go into negotiation, the moment you are called, you will have to sit with your people and find out who all are the people who are going to be there from the customer side for the negotiation. So once you find out who all are there coming, then you need to find out whether you already have a rapport or anybody in your organization has a relationship with them or not. So take down the list of people with whom you don't have rapport or relationship. And then you also need to study as to what is their why to buy this product. So once you are clear as to what their why is, then of course it helps you to negotiate better. So the third law of Stephen Covey says, first things first. So the first things first here means that it applies to us that we need to meet those people with whom we are not before or we don't have the rapport, or make use of people who have relationship with them. So just meet them, say hi, build a rapport with them before you meet them at the negotiation table. You would also have to proactively know when, where, what time is the negotiation. And also you need to be very clear as to who all are going to join you from your organization for the negotiation. The other law which Stephen Covey talks of is the 7th law, which is sharpen your axe. So what does that bring into our negotiation role is, 1, you need to look back into the previous negotiations you had with the customer, and you also need to see the similar industry. What are the previous negotiations that happened? Because this will help you to know what your competition is playing, where you need to position yourself, and what are the customer asks and demands. So you will be proactively be aware as to how you should get into the game of negotiation. and because there is a lot of work to be done before you step into the table. The second habit that Stephen Covey talks of is begin with the end in mind, which means you need to set a goal. Goal here is that you are not just going to win a deal for the organization, you also need to win a good deal for your organization, which means that the deal is profitable for the organization and the customer is also happy with the deal. So which means you are in a win-win situation, and that's exactly what Stephen Covey also talks of. One of the other habits is think win-win. Yeah, the win-win is think win-win strategy habit is the fourth habit in Stephen Covey's book. Now that you need to ensure that you have a couple of options to be given to the customer, because the customer feels proud if he is given the choice among the options that which he likes for himself. And now before you enter the negotiation room, the day of negotiation, before you enter the negotiation room, just calm yourself up. Maybe you can do a short meditation or have some good breathing. The reason why you need to do is you need to ensure that you can control your emotions, because the customer can and will try to spoil your emotion off, so that out of anger or out of anxiety you probably give away a lot more than what you are supposed to give. So you need to take control of your emotion, which is very, very important. So before you go get in the negotiation room, ensure you do your breathing exercise or your meditation, calm yourself down and tell yourself, come what may, I'll have full control of my emotions. I am not going to get out of control, because this is very, very important. Keep telling it to yourself, maybe a couple of times, so that at the table, when you sit, you still remember, it keeps telling you, don't lose your emotion, stay calm and negotiate. Okay, now that you have stepped into the negotiation room, what happens? If it is a straight table, I would suggest you sit bang opposite to the door and you walk into the room before even the client walks in. Ensure you are well ahead of time and you sit in the conference room, because what happens once you sit there, the moment the client walks in, you can greet him very warmly, whereby you establish a kind of a rapport. So the moment customer walks in, you go ahead, greet him. He feels happy, and this is very important, because this is human to human end of the day at the negotiation table. So he needs to feel happy. In fact, a couple of tricks which people generally play is, one, you probably ask them for a small favor, either a pen, or ask them where is the restroom. They will help you. So the human psychology is that somebody helps you, they tend to like you more. So you ask for small help so that you can set the ball rolling right, and ensure that it is the customer who starts the discussion, because that will ensure that the customer opens up what he has to say. And at the table, when the customer is speaking, listen quietly. And you can also use this 3-nod technique, which is slowly nod your head thrice. Aha, yes, aha, aha. Thrice, which means to the customer there that yes, you are listening to him seriously. And don't make the mistake of nodding it fast. Yeah. Which actually means that you're telling the guy, yeah, speak fast, I heard what you're about to say. So sit quietly, just quietly do this triple nod slowly, and this will make the customer speak more. And once the customer has spoken, don't immediately jump. And also when you listen to him, don't be judgmental. Listen to the customer seriously, take notes, always don't immediately jump out with your answer or solution. Most people do this technique of counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, so that the customer thinks that you are thinking on what you said or what they said, and then probably you can test, understand what he said. Sir, you can say, is this what you meant, A, B, C, D? And then probably you can get a little deeper to understand what makes you say this. What is it that you want from it? Why are you looking at this point? What makes you look at it? Like a customer says, I want it 100 rupees. And when you ask him the why, he will tell you why exactly he is looking at that 100 rupees as a price point. There is this famous negotiation skill that happened with the coconut story. Many of you might have heard it. There's one coconut and 3 people. So how do you divide between the 3? Right? All 3 of them saying, I want the full coconut. And there is nothing that can be done. But then somebody walked in and asked, why you want the coconut to the first person? He says, I want the water. The second person says, I want to eat the coconut. And the third person says, I want the shell because I want to use it as fuel to burn it up. So once you know the why, the problem was solved. The coconut problem was solved when you came to know why. So similarly, you need to ask the customer, why is he asking for A, B, C, D or X, Y, Z? So now that you have known it, then comes, you'll have to play the Stephen Covey's 6th law, which is synergize. So here what you're going to do next stage is you're going to tell the customer transparently why and what you do and how you do it. So the customer knows exactly where you're coming from, what you're doing, and you also know what he is. You can synergize together, because negotiation is actually a beautiful ballet dance together, the couple dancing together. It is not you trying to fight with each other. And most importantly, yes, in negotiation, you are not going to win an argument with the customer. You are here to win the battle, you are not going to win the argument. The customer says, yes, you may have a difference of opinion. Do not argue, put it across very smoothly and softly. And here you need to be also very clear, like I told earlier. The customer can, which is actually a part of the customer negotiation style. In fact, the next episode, we will talk in length and depth as to what all the techniques that customers use to make sure that you bring down the price. Like my friend was saying recently, he went for a negotiation with a very large organization. He was called by afternoon, 3 o'clock was the time given to him. But the time that he was called in for negotiation was by around 9:30, 10. He was so tired that he just wanted to finish and come up, and he actually gave away more than what he was supposed to give. And this is actually a strategy adopted by the customer. So you need to be very clear, so that once you know what the customer strategies are, it also helps you to guard yourself. Well, that's the next episode. So when the next episode is uploaded, you need to be intimated. To get intimation, please press the subscription and the bell button so that you will be intimated the moment the episode is uploaded. At the negotiation table, you should not be seen as somebody who's too pushy or who's too soft on whom the customer can walk over. You've got to be somewhere balanced in between, because that's what makes the customer comfortable also. And all your communication has to be concise, to the point, with 100% clarity, so that there is no ambiguity, and the customer is also very clear on the context in which you are talking. Because remember, you are as good as you communicate. I repeat, you are as good as you communicate. And you like it or not, every minute you are communicating. The moment you are in front of the customer, the way you are dressed, the way you look at the customer, your facial expressions, your tone of the voice, everything communicates. Also, of course, the message that you give. So you got to be very clear as to what you are communicating, how you want it to be communicated. You will have to take precautions and do the needful. Now, post the negotiation, or just as you come out of the table, the results can be either it is a win-win, you have won it, or it is hanging, or it's something that you decided to walk out. Whatever it is, ensure that you will have to build a long-term relationship with the customer. That has to be your mind before you walk out of the negotiation table. Because just because you lost the deal, don't shout or misbehave with the customer. Be calm. You lost once, but there's always a second time. The post-negotiation, the moment once you're out of the table, out of the room, probably you can send a thank you letter, mail, and give a gist of what we discussed, so that there is clarity, and the customer, maybe after some time the customer doesn't come back, you can straight away send a mail, sir, since you have not come back, how do I conclude? You can put in a mail and ask, no issues on that. So this is negotiations for you. As I said earlier, in the next episode, We'll be talking on various methodologies which the customer will be using to ensure that we come down on our price and terms. So that's for the next episode. As told earlier, please press the subscription and the bell button so that you will get the intimation when the video is uploaded. Thank you. Thanks a lot.